Together.
Future.
For them.
For us.
This is our time.
It's there!
Wales.
Well, Wales are aiming to reach the finals of a major competition for the very first time. A win this evening would be a notable step in the right direction. Wales against Northern Ireland, coming up live. Well, welcome to Rodney Parade, the home of Wales women for this European campaign. Just a few moments to go before kick-off, so let's go and talk straight away to our guests this evening, Nia Jones and Jess Fishlock. Jess, first of all, I know you'd love to be in that changing room this evening. An injury stopping you from being there. How are things at the moment?
Yeah, you know, for obviously the injury is devastating, but I'm going through the process right now, feeling really good, really strong, and just looking forward to getting back on the pitch.
A few months maybe before you're back training, but when can we expect to see you back on the pitch for Wales?
Yeah, I think early next year is the plan to get back on the pitch.
Good luck anyway. Nia, let's talk about that big win then against the Faroe Islands on Thursday. Coming into this match tonight, how confident should Wales be?
They shouldn't. They just shouldn't be. They will be. You know, they're not just coming away with 3 points on a tough away fixture. It's a long way to go, the Faroe Islands. But actually scoring 6 goals is vital for this squad. You know, the last campaign they struggled a little bit in the attacking third, but, you know, hopefully with Natasha Harding on fine form as we saw, they can carry that attacking display into this evening. Yeah,
the hat-trick hero against the Faroe Islands. Northern Ireland, very different first game for them against Norway. They need to rebuild, I guess, this evening, or otherwise their campaign's over before it's really begun.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I know Norway are a very difficult side, and Northern Ireland have gone there, tried to be brave, tried to be expansive, and it just hasn't worked. It'll be interesting to see what they try and do tonight, but if they want anything from this game, they have to be hard to beat, compact, and try and go for first and second balls.
Yeah, they've got 5 in the back. Tactically, how do you think Wales are going to approach this one this evening, Nia?
I can't see them changing much, especially coming off the back of such a fantastic start. You know, we know how defensively solid Wales are. It again will be how they fare in the middle of the park. You know, we've got Rachel Furness for Northern Ireland up against Anghara James, club mates at Reading. So that'll be a really exciting duel to watch in the middle of the park. But, you know, I'm sure they'll have some chances tonight, Wales, and it's just about taking them, especially early on.
And which Northern Irish players should we be watching out for? Which are the danger women?
Yeah, look, I think that it's Rachel Furness. If they go first and second ball, she is going to be the target person, and then it's going to flick on to Simone Miguel, who's going to try and score their goals. And if they do that, they might cause us some problems.
And we were just watching the Norway-England game, Norway winning that one 2-1. It's only going to get tougher for Wales, so they need these 6 points right at the start of the campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. But the positive for Wales is they haven't got to face Norway until April next year. You know, this match here is a must-win because it's probably going to be between Wales and Northern Ireland for, you know, challenging for that first spot with Norway. So tonight is all Wales will be thinking about, and it's vital they come away with 3 points.
And a quick prediction, Jess?
I think Wales will win by 3 goals.
Nia?
I'm going 4.
There we are. Very confident here. I think we are ready to go for the national anthems. Gwennon Harris and Simon Davis are waiting for you in commentary. But first, starting with Northern Ireland, God Save the Queen.
level. Both of their opening games ended 6-0, but there were differing fortunes for both Wales and Northern Ireland. Wales unchanged from their win against the Faroe Islands. Kaylee Green still leads the attack despite missing a penalty in that game. Natasha Harding will be confident after her hat-trick in Torshov. Well, Northern Ireland lost 6-0 to Norway last week. Manager Kenny Shields has made 3 changes to that team, one of which is the goalkeeper, Emma Higgins, in for Jacqueline Burns. Midfielders Megan Bell and Lauren Wade come in for Chloe McCarran and Rebecca McKenna, who both drop to the bench.
On behalf of UEFA and the FAW,
well, Jane Ludlow's team are looking to make it 2 wins from 2 in European qualifying. It's a team that has inspired a nation before, and they will want to do so again. Rodney Parade expects, but compared to the Faroe Islands, this is a much tougher test from a Welsh point of view. The aim, Gwenan, will be 3 points, no doubt.
Yeah, I think nothing less than 3 points. I think Jane won't be happy with that. If you look at the group, the rankings, you know, we're ranked 2nd in the group. Northern Ireland ranked 4th, coming off a heavy defeat against Norway. So I think the girls will be confident from the victory in the Faroe Islands. We'll be hoping to be maybe a little bit more clinical in the final third today and make sure that we put this game to bed early on.
Northern Ireland are looking for their first win of the campaign, but the team spirit that Wales possess is certainly something which helped them in their World Cup campaign, which they got so close to qualification for those finals in France. They were just 1 game away.
Yeah, I think the expectation is something really new coming off the back of that game, because we were so successful, albeit not qualifying. You know, it's a really new pressure that the girls are going to have to deal with, and it's how we can deal with that. In these games, we'll still be used to being favourites because we're ranked above them. When we come into the Norway game, that expectation, even though they are a superb side and World Cup quarter-finalists, that expectation will be massive for Wales to try and get something out of that and to actually top the group.
The referee is Spanish, and Anera Andrea Acevedo Dudley. I shall say that only once. Well, the big surprise from a Northern Ireland point of view is the changing goal. And we'll see what sort of test awaits Emma Higgins. But Rodney Parade expects. And after almost reaching the World Cup, Wales begin another home campaign, this time with Euro 2021 in mind. And once again, looking to inspire a nation. Well, the last time Wales played Northern Ireland was in 2017. Ystrad Mynach was the venue, and a certain Jess Fishlock won her 100th cap, and I'm delighted to say that Jess has made the long journey from the tunnel area up to the commentary position here. And Jess, I think we're all wincing as you were going up those steps. We don't want you to suffer any more than you have so far, but it's great to see you here.
No, it's great to be here, and don't worry, those steps, I've just put them as part of my rehab.
Wales on the attack early on, and that's something that we saw quite often in the Faroe Islands game. James link up with Kaylee Green. And Wales with the early chance. Here is Green. And it was a last-ditch tackle in the end from Rachel Newborough, and Wales have had their first chance.
Yeah, I think Wales will be itching to get a start like they did in the Faroe Islands as well. You know, we got a quick early goal, settle the nerves. On the back of that, the Northern Ireland conceded an early goal against Norway, so I'm sure that they'll be just trying to keep a little bit more compact. You know, they've shipped a lot of goals in their last qualifying campaign. They shipped 27 goals, so it's something that they need to work on.
Evans' throw. Evans, the left foot was very useful in that Faroe Islands game as James, his shot comes in high and wide, and a smile on the face of Jess Fishlock.
Oh, I've seen them go in training, so I'm sure she would have liked that one to hit the back of the net. You can see what she's trying to do.
Well, of course, this is a Wales team without Jess, without Rachel Rowe, but as we saw in the last campaign with the likes of Ann James. It's a team of quality. Wales could be in trouble here with Lauren Wade. It's the first chance of the game. It's straight at Laura O'Sullivan. And the danger signs are there for Wales, the warning signs.
Yeah, and Wales are lucky there because that was two really bad errors defensively. Two of the defenders going in for the same ball with the header. Rhiannon Roberts switched off there, let her runner. Lauren Wade running behind her. We're just fortunate that the finish was straight at the goalkeeper. You know, bad communication there between Lauren Dykes and Hayley Ladd.
That's a let-off, that is. And you know, with Northern Ireland, if they go first and second ball, that's going to cause us problems. So we got away with that. Hopefully that won't happen again.
Laura Wade, one of the three new players in this Northern Ireland team after that opening defeat. Here's Harding. Cross which didn't really reach anyone. Green is in there. Green was claiming for a handball there, but Newbrook downfield to hold away. And the charge from McGill. Well, defensively, we've said it so many times, Wales are such an organised unit. O'Sullivan in goal and the likes of Ingle, Dykes, Ladd.
Yeah, look, if you don't concede, you're not going to lose. And, you know, our success in the last campaign was built off that defensive stability. So can we add to that now? Can we be better in possession? Can we create more chances? And most importantly, can we finish those chances?
Clearance upfield to Jones.
I just want to ask a question straight to Jess, if that's okay. Elise Hughes, we know, is a fantastic youngster. How difficult is that to transition into centre mid there, you know, alongside Angharad when you're still relatively inexperienced to international football? You had your first cap straight in there,
yeah,
and actually scored, didn't you, against Switzerland?
Yeah.
Like, how difficult is that at that age to go into a key position like that?
Yeah, look, I think the beauty of what our last campaign was, and working under Jane actually for the last few years, is that it might be Elise going into that position, but we have worked in this formation with this structure, same kind of style for all of the last campaign which Elise was in, and all of actually coming off the original campaign when Jane first came in. So yeah, it's difficult in one sense, but in another sense, when you're on camp and when you're in that environment, we are learned and we are told that, you know, we have to learn more than one position, because the way that campaigns go, you get injuries and you're going to have to play more than just one position. So yeah, on one hand, it could be difficult, but the way that Jane structures us is, you know, we are coached in a way that we can play more than one. So I expect Elise to be just fine.
Well, Wales have a free kick here, and it will be Evans to take. And there are plenty of red shirts to aim for. Looking for Roberts, who scored from a similar position against the Faroe Islands. Evans tracking back here. McGill. Well, the attack is on. Vance. Newbrook. That's good recovery from Natasha Harding, who will be full of confidence after her display in Tórshavn. It's not often you see a Wales player get a hat-trick, so she totally relished that.
It's great to see, as we mentioned on Friday, isn't it? It's great to see her playing higher up the pitch, and she brings so much of an attacking threat with her pace, her trickery. It's just brilliant to see her playing a bit higher than the wing-back role that we're used to seeing her play in the last campaign.
Laura O'Sullivan take this goal kick, such an important player for Wales in that campaign. It's not the most convincing of pass backs, and O'Sullivan could be in trouble here. Ingle, cool as you like, even finds Roberts with her clearance, though it is a handball.
Just think, you know, like first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of a game, especially a qualifying campaign, don't try anything too hasty in your final, in your defensive third, you know, just make sure that keep steady. There's no jittery nerves, which we've already seen with a defensive error. Just Wales maybe unexpectedly lacking a bit of experience there in terms of game management.
Well, Northern Ireland have already had the best chance of the game so far with Wade. What can they do from here? Vance. I'll swing this in with the left foot. Bit of indecision on the free kick, but it is Vance who takes it. Not a bad delivery at all, and that almost caused all sorts of problems. Evans puts it behind for a corner. In fact, it's a goal kick, not a corner, but the delivery, Gwenan, was, well, it was a tricky one.
It was into that corridor of uncertainty for the goalkeeper, wasn't it? But just fortunate that Gemma Evans was switched on, tracking across her runner. I thought maybe there was an offside, actually, that could have interfered with the play. But Gemma Evans did her job well and responsibly.
James goes in for the tackle. And it was McFadden who puts it out for a throw. Well, like Wales, Northern Ireland have not reached a major finals, but what an opportunity for Jane Ludlow's team this time around. As Harding puts pressure on the goalkeeper, Green too. There's a clearance, in fact, by Higgins. Northern Ireland, the attack again. It's Anhara James and Evans who are penalised.
And that'll be a really interesting battle this evening. Club mates, one very powerful attacking player, one defensive.
As Bell gets to the byline, it's not a bad cross, and Wales are looking nervy. And still the clearance not away. Roberts this time, and it's a corner. And well, food for thought, Jess.
No, like I always said that, and I just said that down just before the game, that this game is the big game for Northern Ireland. The game against Norway for them was just, yeah, they wanted to play, they probably wanted to get a good result, but they know that they're probably not going to win that game. But this game is their cup final, and they've looked like that right now this first 10 minutes. We're going to have to try and change this momentum within the next kind of 10 minutes.
It's a short corner, but Bell has the chance to put it in. Good header from Roberts. Danger still not away. Oh, and it's in! What a sensation here at Rodney Parade. It's Simone McGill who has given Northern Ireland a shot lead.
Well, Wales have been on the back foot for the opening 10 minutes. And if I'm honest, Northern Ireland deservedly taking the lead there. Good finish by Simone McGill. A real poacher's finish, heading it back down across into the opposite side of the net. But Wales will be disappointed with that. It was just sloppy defending here. They've got an extra player there. I think it's actually McGill free as well. And they're ball watching. You know, they're not tracking players. They're not picking up. And that's a really disappointing goal for Wales to concede.
Yeah, I think, like I said, if Wales let this become a first and second ball game, it's going to be a very interesting 90 minutes. But that's an early goal. There's still plenty of time here for Wales to get a couple goals and still win this game. But like you said, Gwen, this wasn't against a run of play. Northern Ireland have thoroughly deserved that goal.
Who will be the real players? Obviously, you've got Sophie Ingle and you've got the experienced Tash Allen, but who will be the real players now, really, getting the girls in and really trying to drive a reaction?
James's shots. Just trying to find
I think
Green.
that's what we'll be finding out, Gwen, is who are going to be those players. It's okay to do that when you're 5-6-0 up, but when you're 1-0 down in a game that you have to win, that's when you need your leaders to come out. And look, there are plenty of leaders out there. They've just got a lead right now.
And there we see the goal again. Simone McGill, who has the unique distinction of scoring the fastest ever international goal for Northern Ireland, 11 seconds against Georgia back in 2016. Big task ahead now for Wales and Green. He's got a great deal of support, tries to find Harding. So far, so good for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, they've actually been really compact in defence, as you mentioned right at the start. You know, they conceded 27 goals in their last qualifying campaign. I know they had the Netherlands, for example, in their group, but that's a lot of goals conceded. Just coming off the back of a 6-0 defeat, they actually look quite assured at the back to begin with.
James's shots. Wales restricted to efforts outside of the area so far.
That's what Wales will want to see. They'll want to see Northern Ireland taking 1, 2, 3, 4 touches just outside their box so they can nick it and get a goal. But if Northern Ireland decide to just take 1 or 2 and launch it long, then this, like I said, they might cause us some problems.
Ingle look for Evans. Sophie Ingle of Chelsea. And Jane Ludlow. She doesn't look too worried at the moment, but it's been a nervy start. Nelson. The gaps are there to exploit again. It's Holdaway. Sliding interception from Ladd. James to Ingle. Using that width of Gemma Evans. This is better from Wales. Jones.
It's a real strength of Wales. You know, they normally play the channels really well, whether it's Kaylee Green or tonight Emma Jones, you know, making those runs and gaining territory. I'd like to see Wales sometimes when the wing-backs have got possession of the ball there. Can we have more options instead of just that, you know, that channel ball? Sometimes we lack someone in that number 10 position because we're doing so much work defensively as well.
Jones. And that cross just not making it into the penalty area, and Northern Ireland, to their credit, start the counter-attack early. McFadden's pass only reaches Ingle. Wales up for the long one. Headed from Green to Harding. Roberts.
I think what was interesting just before on that last cross was Tash and Kaylee were man for man in the box there, one-on-one, and I bet my money on Tash and Kaylee rising above and getting ahead if it's a one-on-one challenge, and that's where we have to have a little bit more quality in the box and allowing them that time to jump up and score as Tash did against the Pharaohs, you know.
Well, it's all about Euro 2021 and reaching the finals in England. Wales have to finish in the top 2 places in the group to stand any chance of that happening. It is an opportunity, but first things first, they have to turn things around here. They've got a chance with Green.
There's plenty of time left as well. We just need to make sure we don't panic. You know, just play our game, try and be tidy in possession and take those chances when they come.
James may fancy the pop shots. You can see what she was trying to do.
Yeah, it's just needed to get under it a little bit more. But it's really pleasing actually to see Angharad James in those positions because, you know, she can produce top quality. It's just having the licence and the chance to be in those positions, and hopefully she'll put one of those away.
Angharad James, a proud Welsh speaker. Such an important player for Wales during the Jane Ludlow era so far. Things not going Wales' way at the moment. Furness, back to McFadden. And Newborough now has it. This is a Northern Irish team that got thumped by Norway. One of the better teams, of course, in world football, but this will disappoint Wales.
I think what Jess said was right as well. You know, when you're playing against, you know, a World Cup, you know, quarter-finalist, you know, a team that's really good, really experienced, got a lot of history. You're not expected to win those games. So you throw caution to the wind. You know, that doesn't dent your confidence as much. Okay, 6-0 is a big loss, but they would have expected all the pressure would have been off them. This game is a winnable game for them, and you could see, you know, these first 15 minutes, they've totally dominated. They've been a better team. They've been really good in possession there these last 5 minutes, and actually they look like the home side. We look like we're playing away from home. Wales are playing away from home.
Poor throw from Newborough. And the ball through to Harding. It's a tight angle. Well, from this angle, we thought it may have taken a deflection, but she's hungry for goals after her hat-trick in Tórshavn.
Yeah, and look, that's what Wales want. That's a turnover. That's what they want to counter-attack. And even like Gwen said, Northern Ireland are playing some lovely football around the back. If I'm Wales, if I'm in that midfield, that's what I want Northern Ireland to do. I want them to keep playing around the back so they make one bad pass and then we nick and we go forward.
Good link-up play there between Kaylee Green and Tash Harding. Nice to see, as I said, Tash playing higher up and using her pace there. Just maybe quite didn't get her body totally under that, or over the top of it, sorry, over the ball, and that's where you've seen she's leaning back a little bit and went over the bar. Next time maybe just get your body over it and try and keep it lower, test the goalkeeper on what is a wet surface.
Well, the referee wants it taken again, a rolling ball. It's been, even at this early stage, a hotly contested game for the Spanish referee to officiate on. Well, Northern Ireland certainly taking their time. They played the short goal kick last time, and I don't know why, it was a convincing clearance by Higgins out for a throw. And even at this early stage, Jess, Wales just need that extra bit of something perhaps in the final third. I think you were alluding to that a bit earlier on.
Yeah, I think, you know, in the next 10 minutes I would expect Wales to try and change the momentum of this game and gain a little bit of control, even if that means they pass it back and they just keep the ball for a few phases.
Well, that is the mantra of the Jane Nudlow style, looking to keep the ball, build up play. We saw it so often in the last campaign, that memorable game against Russia, of course. And it's a chance for Wales, and on the back post there was Kaylee Green, but Elise Hughes got caught in two minds, and down the other end, O'Sullivan called into action. That's a poor clearance. You can feel the anxiety at this Rodney Parade crowd. Things not going to plan.
No, I think, to be honest, the crowd off the back of the last campaign just aren't used to seeing Wales a little bit shaky at the back here with it. You know, just being running behind. They're causing Northern Ireland, especially with Simone McGill's pace, they're causing problems in behind. It's something that Wales maybe, as I said, haven't had that much experience of in the last campaign.
Well, they are the team that inspired a generation. Change the game is the catchphrase that we've been using on BBC Wales. And they'll need to change the game here, Wales, because it's Northern Ireland again on the attack and again through Newborough. They're pinging the balls with ease. Furness's shot almost spilt by O'Sullivan. Wales are shaking.
Yeah, Wales can't afford to allow Rachel Furness an opportunity like that. She's a really, really powerful player. She's got great strike on target. I'd like to see Wales push up a lot higher there. Don't give Furness the space to have shots from distance like that, because she can punish you.
Well, this is not the Wales that we've been used to seeing, Jess.
Look, for this first 20 minutes, I think Northern Ireland have come out after losing their first game 6-0 and want to show that that isn't Northern Ireland. And we have to weather that storm, and we've got a little bit lucky. But it's 1-0, and it's a game that we can absolutely turn around. I would just like us to try and get a little bit more pressure when they are doing this right now, and win the ball a little bit higher so we can transition.
It's a real pleasure to be joined by Jess Fishlock and Gwennon Harris. And at the moment, Wales, well, they could be about to create something with Harding. Evans in support, and it's good play from Harding. Tries to find the room, Green in the middle. Green's header. Danger still not away. James may look to get the shot in. James is shot! And that's the equaliser. And it's come from Hannah James. And that's what the Rodney Parade crowd were expecting.
And Hannah James has been threatening that from the edge of the box. That's her fourth effort in the first 24 minutes from the edge of the box. Originally good play by Tash Harding, real direct play, trickery play, cut it back across across the box, and then we just see it just falls nicely to Angharad James, and in that position, you know, have a shot. You know, if you don't shoot, you're not going to score.
Well, it's taken a deflection, and it may have come off a Wales player.
Yeah.
But I think it's James who'll claim it, although I'm sure Emma Jones will fight her for it.
Well, thank goodness there's no VAR, because if there was, I'm unsure if he would have been allowed that one.
Well, from one end of the pitch to the other, Wade chasing the ball down, and as predicted by Jess Fishlock, Wales weathered the storm and are back on level terms.
And that was a turnover as well. We won that high up on their box, and that's what we want to do.
And Wales are hungry for more with Kaylee Green. Well, just looking at the replay, it may well go down as an Emma Jones goal, but
it definitely had a deflection, didn't it? But Angharad, you know, Angharad James, was the third, fourth attempt she's had from the edge of the box, and if you don't buy the ticket to shoot, you're never going to score. You know, it's just really pleasing to see her in those areas, having opportunities at goal.
Well, that's a fight for another time. Wales are back in their groove, perhaps, although Evans has given it away.
I don't think either of them will fight about that goal. It'll be a Wales goal.
Which is good to hear and indicative of the spirit in this camp. Well, it was Angharad James who wheeled away in celebration. But maybe Emma Jones has just scored her second goal in 2 games. Doesn't matter, it's 1-1. Here's Newborough, though. Cheaply given away by the visitors. Green. She's going it alone. Chased by Nelson. Finds James. And Roberts is free. Early delivery. Harding is the target.
Really good play by Kaylee Green there. You know, instead of maybe giving the easy option when the ball came into her on the halfway line and giving it back and maintaining possession, she knew that she had the space to turn and was really direct. You know, got Wales a lot higher up the pitch, and I think Tash Harding here just quite didn't time it correctly and come off the wrong side of her head.
James. Fortuitous nutmeg, but it's released Roberts. Green the target. Comfortable catch from Higgins. Credit to her. And when you've got Kaylee Green running at you, it's not the most pleasant sight for a goalkeeper.
No, she's a really physical forward. As I've mentioned in previous games, you know, you've got to give her a lot of credit for someone who's come from a defensive background. To put in the performances that she does as a striker these days is really applaudable.
Jones.
Already, what we were talking about earlier, Gwen, is the shift of the momentum. That for the first 20 minutes, we weren't winning tackles, we weren't getting the ball that wide, we were losing first and second balls. Has already not only kind of scored a goal, but she's already won 2 tackles in the middle and is in the middle to switch a point of attack. So Has, for me right now, is really stepping up to try and take this game by the scruff of the neck. And
for those of you who don't know who Has is, that's Angharad James, because a lot of the players can't say her full name, can they, Jess?
Angharad James.
Well, that will be the big debate later. Who will claim it? Emma Jones or Angharad James? Higgins. It's a poor kick to Newcombe. The momentum has swung Wales' way, you would think.
It's better when you get higher up the pitch and put pressure on, as Jess was alluding to earlier on. You know, you force the opposition team into more errors. This is the type of area of the pitch Wales want to be playing in, not further, 30 yards further down, because they haven't pressed high enough.
Wales have got to be careful here. It's a ball through the middle. It's a simple ball which O'Sullivan denies the oncoming Wade. And the Wales goalkeeper quick off her line. And this has become a very competitive football match.
Wales just need to ensure at the back that they're tracking the runners, they're checking their shoulders as well, because that's the third or fourth occasion now in this first 26 minutes where we've had players running off our back. Rhiannon Roberts here maybe just passing the information on, we're not sure obviously because we can't hear, but there just needs to be a real sense of communication there and making sure that the players are checking their shoulders.
Fadden out to Newcombe.
We've also got a very experienced middle three out of that back five in Lauren Dykes and Sophie Ingle and Hayley Ladd. So between the three of them, you would like to think that they are going to be dealing with those runners perhaps a little bit better than they have done in this first half an hour of this game.
Nelson. More experienced players in this Northern Ireland team, 34 years of age. Back to Newborough. Hutton. Well, patient build-up play, but Wales' defensive bank, which has been so impenetrable in the recent past. Most convincing of passes there from Hayley Ladd, and it is a throw. Anna Roberts scored her first international goal against the Faroe Islands, a towering header too. Fancy shots. Newborough is free. Megan Bell may fancy it. It wasn't a bad try.
No, just as I said earlier, you have to try and limit those opportunities from the edge of the box there, because 20 yards out, a lot of players can produce real, challenging shots there for Laura O'Sullivan. Just like to see the midfield two of Elise Hughes and Cara James, just maybe a bit better communication there for one of them to push across and close the shot down.
James, who at this stage has been given the goal, but certainly the word from what we've heard from UEFA so far. But watch this space. But it is 1-1. Wales have, just seems they've had to go behind to get going in this game, Jess.
Yeah, and that's not what they're used to be honest. Like Gwennon has said previously, the last campaign was really based off just brilliant defending and then trying to get, an odd goal here or there. So perhaps, we've scored a couple goals now and we've just forgot the basics a little bit, but, we've got a goal now and we've kind of trying to turn around this momentum. So maybe it was just a little bit of a wake-up call, which, it happens.
You need that sometimes, don't you? When you, not saying that the team had got complacent, but in terms of the intensity and the quality of the last game, there was no attacking threat whatsoever. So this first 20 minutes was a shock to the system going off the back of last Friday, wasn't it?
No, exactly. And this will be their first game for a very long time with and against a team that are trying to prove that they can win at this level. Roberts
to Green. With this Rodney Parade crowd going again. James to Green. Jones had just eluded her and the chance goes begging. Harding was in there too. Wales getting forward.
See, this is where I want to see Wales not drop. When they lose that ball, win it back real fast in a high press transition, because that's where Northern Ireland will give you the ball back if they're under pressure, and that's how we scored our goal. If we sit off them, it's a little bit trickier.
You see the difference though in this formation to the last one. Maybe on the screen you can't quite see the formation at the minute. We've got the 5 at the back with the 2 in the midfield and then the 3 up front. In the last campaign we were so defensively steady because we had the 5 at the back with the 4 very compact in the midfield, especially when playing against the likes of England. So you can see that Jane obviously has got more of a, she's really pushing on an attacking sense, more so in this campaign, something that they've worked on.
Voice of Gwennon Harris and Jess Fishlock will be here in the commentary position. There'll be more from Jess as well, with Nia and Catherine at half-time. I just wonder if there's another goal to come here. Ubra runs into trouble. And the ball towards McGill, the goal scorer, just went under her feet, and it's Megan Bell who's been one of the more creative players for Northern Ireland in this first half.
Just to say that the FAW Trust are launching at the minute this month, actually 23 huddle centres, they're called. If you want information, go to huddle.com. But centres based on opportunities in a non-competitive environment, a really enjoyable environment for any girls at that age that really want to try football, maybe take a friend along with them for the new chance.
Here's Green, looking for James. Made the run. Well, she scored one. She's clearly after another. Ball up top towards McGill. Well read by O'Sullivan.
Yeah, and better defending there. You can see Lauren Dykes was with Simone McGill originally. Obviously passed the information on then to Sophie Ingle, and she covered that run and covered that space. You know, whereas in the opening 20 minutes that wasn't the case.
Jones battles for it. Up to McGill. Header from Ladd. Roberts, and the move is on, and it is Emma Jones. I think it caught Roberts by surprise, but that's better from a Welsh point of view.
Yeah, better attacking play. Just sometimes just look at maybe the option to Kaylee Green was on, and just need to be a little bit tidier in possession in that final third. Just make sure that we maintain possession of the ball and create more opportunities through that.
Nelson to Hutton. Newborough, Vance, battling hard in the Newport rain is Hannah James. Wins it. That's what we saw so often in the last campaign. All the way. Sitting off Northern Ireland here. McGill has dropped short.
They're allowing Northern Ireland to have possession in wide areas. You can see that with the way that they've formed. But when that ball comes back into the middle, then they need to make sure that they're picking up these runners. It's a little bit too easy at the minute for the Northern Ireland players to drop into the gap between the midfield and defence and keep possession. Holdaway's cross. Still not a convincing clearance from Wales, but up to Green it goes. Newborough. Well, Jess Fishlock will be rejoining our team down in the tunnel very shortly. So, Jess, your thoughts so far, what with 35 minutes played?
Look, I think Wales are a little bit slow to start. I think everybody can see that. But I think the last kind of 10 minutes, they've changed their momentum a little bit, tried to get a little bit more control back in this game. And have limited Northern Ireland. But it's just, what can they do now? Can they add a little bit more quality? Can they get another goal? Or are they going to let Northern Ireland keep having the ball, and will that hurt them?
Evans with this free kick for Wales. Roberts on that back post. Set piece needs to be better. I'm sure Jane Ludlow will be saying that during the break. It's a corner, won by Rhiannon Roberts. And this is where Wales can be dangerous. Yeah, with Gemma Evans' delivery, you know, she's normally spot on, puts it into really dangerous areas, and we've got a lot of height there with Rhiannon Roberts, Sophie Ingle, Elise Hughes as well as a physical presence. So you can see the plans already to try and bombard Emma Higgins in the Northern Ireland goal, make it difficult for her. Evans has got a wand of a left foot, and it's a decent delivery. And it is a goal kick. But once again, Gemma Evans causing issues. And some discomfort there for Emma Higgins, the Northern Ireland goalkeeper.
Yeah, you see that tactic employed quite often these days, don't you? Know, making sure that it's difficult for the goalkeeper. I'm still unsure who that came off, if I'm honest. But you know, it's really difficult for goalkeepers in that situation when you're crowded out, especially when you've got players then, you know, are taller and making it really difficult for you.
Green's cross. There's James. As well to keep hold of possession. It's gone Wales's way. And Hannah James has had a battling first half and has arguably been Wales's pick of the bunch.
Yeah, I'd agree with you this. I mean, I think she's been the real driving force of the team. She's really stepped up. You know, she's obviously done her normal jobs, as we'd say, winning possession of the ball back and giving it nice and simple. But it's been nice to see her advance to higher positions as well, and she was rewarded with that, with her goal.
It's a second throw-in in succession to be taken by Rhiannon Roberts. Spotted Hughes. Back to Roberts. Will it go out for a corner? Yes, it will. Wales looking to finish the half in a flurry.
Yeah, it's just nice to see us higher up the pitch as well. You know, when you put pressure, Northern Ireland, I think, personally, are putting themselves under a lot of unnecessary pressure, trying to take the goal kicks as they has, because that's where this corner originally has come from. But it's good to see Wales pressing high as well, not dropping back. We want that, you know. Wales are the home team. You want to see them on the front foot, pressing high.
Well, Evans, again, looking for a similar delivery to her last. Not such an in-swinger this time. It went over the head of Ingle. Harding. Up against McGill. Simone McGill did very well to dispossess, and perhaps Ingle did even better.
So she did very, very well there, especially as a forward. A lot of people say that forwards can't tackle, and if I'm honest, I'm testament to that. I wasn't very good at tackling when I was playing. But she did very well, you know, she stood up nice and tall. She didn't try and dive in. She bided her time, and when the ball was available, she got her body across and won it well.
And it was a well-taken goal to put Northern Ireland in front.
Yeah, it was a real striker's goal and a real poacher's goal from the Everton forward. You know, she was just off the back shoulder, in between the two centre halves, and she was anticipating. You know, good forwards anticipate the ball ready for those situations, and she finished it with aplomb.
Wales have throw through Evans. Header from Hughes, and Green could be in here. Well, she's got those battling qualities, Kayleigh Green.
She has. Good defending by Ashley Hutton, you know, using her experience, using her body just to shield the ball out. But Kayleigh Green, you know, I know she was disappointed with the penalty miss on Friday night, but knowing her, I know that won't dent her confidence. You know, if asked, if Wales won a penalty today, she would happily step up. She's confident enough in her ability to step up and take another one.
Kenny Shields, the Northern Ireland coach. Maybe the happier of the two coaches at this stage. Northern Ireland have had more than a few good chances, aside from the goal. Tackle there from Gemma Evans. Furness. All the way. Almost a beautiful pass, but good interception there by Lauren Dykes. Wales just not keeping hold of possession, and this is very much unlike them from the type of play that we've seen under Jane Ludlow.
Yeah, what doesn't help sometimes is the quality of the ball that's played into you by your teammates. You know, there's been a lot of occasions where the pass by one of the Wales players has gone to...
Nothing wrong with that ball. And here is Harding. Hughes. Wales limited to these shots from outside of the penalty area. Lovely switch play from Hayley Ladd to Roberts. Nice trickery from Roberts. That's a great cross. Almost found Green. She was at full stretch.
Yeah, good ball. Just like to see it maybe in the 6-yard box where the Wales players can attack it, but at the same time, the 3 Welsh forwards need to vary their runs. There was no running straight towards the front post, trying to take away one of the players and create space. So an area again that Wales need to just polish up on.
Long ball. Well, it was an aimless ball in the end from Dykes. Fadden. Wales win it back. And it's Ingle getting forward. Shot from Emma Jones. Well, this Northern Ireland back line have been stubborn, and Emma Jones...
Do you know what? I'd like to see Wales just penetrate a bit more. They'd be directly positive. You take players on. Emma Jones, a strong player. She's a powerful player. She's quick. You'll push the ball past the defender there. Try and win something. If you're not going to go past, you might draw the foul for the penalty instead of maybe just opting for the pot shot from the edge of the box. Drive in behind the space that Northern Ireland are leaving.
Emma Jones, a player Jane Ludlow knows very well from her Reading days. Was a youth player there. Vance. Well, Wales can be encouraged at least by the fact that it is level. It was a real sucker punch, that goal, although Northern Ireland had been threatening, in fairness. They got back into that game with that deflected James shot. Is there a goal before half-time? And Green with a heavy touch. Northern Ireland, not for the first time, denying Kayleigh Green. Newborough. Evans, James. Ladd. Wales having to keep the ball, but Northern Ireland doing all the chasing. Back to O'Sullivan. Wade. McGill. Decent attempt by McGill. And O'Sullivan was happy to see that nestle in her arms, but Simone McGill has been a thorn in Wales' side.
She has. She's caused problems in behind, but she's also dropped. You see here, she drops a little bit deeper. It's a good turn, but again, Wales they have to close that space down. You can't allow at international level space to have opportunities and shots on target just outside the box like that.
Well, for Wales, it hasn't been going as planned. And Hara James's goal, or deflected goal, has put them back in this game, but Jane Ludlow will be very concerned with how they conceded. Northern Ireland have caused all sorts of problems, and much better is needed if Wales are to take the lead in this game.
Yeah, I think it's been a tale of two halves. Inside one half, if I'm honest, Wales have really stepped up in the last half of the half. But yeah, they need to make sure that they're more intense in their pressing. I need to ensure that they're a bit higher up the pitch, but better in possession. Just relax and compose on the ball.
Well, Wales are lucky to be level, perhaps, but that is as it stands at half-time. Jane Ludlow will have plenty to say at half-time. It's Wales 1, Northern Ireland 1.
Well, Wales arrived in Rodney Parade full of confidence, but they were under pressure early on, and it was Northern Ireland who drew first blood. Simone McGill got the first goal for the visitors. Wales, though, did react, and Hara James with a shot. Emma Jones got a touch, header on. You decide. It's all square after 45 minutes. Yes, a frustrating first half for Wales. I think that's fair to say. Jane Ludlow, manager, didn't look very happy in the dugout there. Jess, let's start with you. Would you agree a frustrating first half for Wales?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lucky first half for Wales as well, because I think Northern Ireland in the first 15 minutes could have had not one goal but 2 goals. They've had a couple of long shots because you've not got enough pressure on them. Yeah, I think Jane will go in there. I think the girls will be talking amongst themselves now about how to turn this game around.
Yeah, Northern Ireland have come here looking for redemption after being thrashed by Norway on Friday night.
Absolutely, and what I like is Kenny Shields is making them play with the same philosophy. He wants them keeping the ball at the back, and they've been the much better team in the first half, and it showed. As Jess said, first 15 minutes, Gwen said it in commentary as well, they looked like the home side, and we're not used to seeing a Jane Ludlow side look like they're half asleep at the start of the game. She's so hot on winning those early battles, winning those early duels, and we were just left in the blocks at the start of that match, and like Jess said, we're fortunate we only conceded 1.
Well, let's talk about that first 15 minutes then for Northern Ireland, because they had quite a few chances, and Wales, for once, looking shaky at the back.
Yeah, and Ireland were patient. You know, they didn't play it forward when they didn't need to. We see a couple of chances here. There's a header one in midfield. They'll be disappointed with that. But this is so uncharacteristic from Wales, seeing 2 players go towards the same ball, both missing it. And then we see White, who's showing great pace, a little bit of a dodgy touch there, which I think Wales will be grateful for. And as a shot for O'Sullivan early on. Here, we're just putting ourselves under pressure, you know. No need to do that at the start of the game. You can see Ireland looking forward to redeeming themselves, as you said, and you know, a simple ball in, there's a gap been left there, and we're lucky that Gemma Evans is the one alert to it to sweep up the danger.
Jess, you're nodding your head in agreement.
Yeah, look, I think everything's Nia said is spot on. We've been very lucky. We've been very sloppy. Defensively, we've been very sloppy, which you don't see from those players out there today. They're normally the rock of our side. And I think, you know, Jane inside there now will tell them the new do's and don'ts for this second half. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of them would be don't unnecessarily pass it back all the way back to the goalkeeper so she has to launch it long. When you have Sophie Ingle, who's right there, who's fantastic on the ball, who can probably clear the ball with much more efficiency.
Yeah, I'm sure she's having a few words. She'll be unhappy with the first goal for Northern Ireland. McGill with that first goal. What went wrong for Wales at the back?
Well, you know, first of all, it was good Ireland pressure to force the corner. We spoke about Rachel Furness. She showed bravery in winning it. And Ireland have done their homework. We see McGill here. She's in a little pocket of space. Wales are zonal marking, which, you know, I don't know if people agree with it or not, but what happens here is McGill, there's nobody picking her up. She's nobody's responsibility. So they're all looking around each other after that goal. Whose player is she? Well, because Raza wins the header as a zonal defender, she wanders into that space, and it's a smart finish into the far corner.
Yeah. They've done their homework, haven't they? As Nia mentioned, they were obviously watching that game on Thursday night against the Faroe Islands.
Yeah, look, we said at the beginning of the game, Northern Ireland, when they get into first and second balls, they're going to cause us problems. That whole corner was a first ball, second ball, third ball, goal. We have not dealt with the short corner well enough. The first ball wasn't a good enough clearance. Second ball, we were nowhere near. Third ball, nowhere near again. And for me, if Northern Ireland change their game a little bit and decide that they're going to go longer and go first and second ball, I think we'll find it difficult to get back into this game. I'm hopeful as a Welsh player that they still try and play just on top of their box where we can nick a score, win and leave.
Well, Wales did get themselves back into that first half, didn't they? Now then, who's going to claim this one? And is this goal legal?
Under the new VAR rules, I think if there was cameras in here tonight, I think it would have been deemed not a goal. I think any use of the arm when it leads directly to a goal is
because
deemed
it
no
does
goal.
hit Emma Jones's arm.
I think it does, and it's completely unintentional from Emma Jones. I think she's trying to get out of the way of Anghara James's shot, but we've had the, you know, we're lucky we're able to look at it over and over again in slow mo. She tries to turn away from it. It does hit her arm, but that is a lifeline for Wales. Again, Anghara James is the one Welsh player. She's been back making tackles. She's been lead in the middle of that park, obviously in Jess's absence and Rachel Rowe's absence. That was her third or fourth shot of that first half, and I think she's sending a message to her team. Come on, remember what we did last week. This is not good enough. It's not the way that we wanted to start this game.
She's also won at the top of their box, and that's where we need to win the ball, because we will score goals from that. You know, if we just keep dropping off, and and winning it at our box. Against Northern Ireland, the most dangerous thing for us to do is to press them, win those second balls, don't allow them to clear it, and we will get goals from that.
And the first thing Jane did when she came in is she said, you all need to get fitter. So these girls have been working for the past 3 or 4 years on their conditioning, so they're fit enough to do that. They can press higher up the pitch. When they lose the ball, like Jess said, what this crowd wants to see is urgency to win it back.
Well, look, girls, we'll chat some more in a few moments, but let's bring you another result from Group C, the same group as Wales earlier. Belarus beat Faroe Islands 6-0. It finished. It's going to be tough for Wales in this group, there's no doubt about it. And also earlier, Norway, they beat England in a friendly 2-1, the final score. Caroline Hansen getting this winner for the home side. So, as we've been saying, it's going to be tough for Wales in this group. Belarus and Norway winning this evening. Right then, we're going to have a breather here, you'll be glad to know, girls, and let's go and join Laura Kenyon. She's got some company somewhere here at Rodney Parade.
Thanks, Catherine. Yes, I'm joined here by Laurie Roberts, who's the head of women's and girls football at the FAW. Laurie, how do you sum up that first half for Wales?
I suppose we're the second seed in the group, so there's going to be a bit of pressure on us this time. We've never had that before, so maybe a bit of nerves in the first 5-10 minutes. Unfortunate to concede so early on, but now, you know, settled into the game, and I just hope that the second half we can get another couple of goals, get the crowd excited, get the crowd behind us, and get the 3 points.
It's an exciting time in general at the moment for girls and women's football, isn't it, in Wales? Tell us a little bit about your project Huddle.
Oh, Huddle, yeah. So Huddle is a new initiative where we're trying to get more girls between the age of 5 to 12 engaged and in love with the sport for the first time. So it's all about creating a positive environment for their introduction to football. We know that girls going into a local girls club for the first time, that might be a little bit intimidating because all the kids know each other, they all know how to play football. So we think by, you know, introducing something like Huddle, it's just a really fun, enjoyable environment, and then to give them the appetite to go on to a club after.
What are your hopes for the second half? And Harry James seems the Wales player with the real spark at the moment.
Yeah, no, definite. And I just hope that now that we've settled a little bit, the nerves have settled. First home game's always a big one, isn't it? I think the crowd are getting behind us, and I think they'll look and enjoy the second half a bit more and not rush the passing, build up from the back, and hopefully we'll see some more goals.
Laurie, thank you very much.
Thanks.
There we are, Laurie, confident we're going to get some more goals in this second half. Let's talk about that Huddle initiative that Laurie was discussing there, trying to inspire the next generation, try and get kids, youngsters involved so that they continue with club and maybe country in the future, something I guess you both welcome.
Of course, and we saw in the last campaign so many young girls and boys coming to want to support this team, but actually the FAW and the FAW of Trust have said, okay, what can we do now? How can we make this develop into something positive? And these Huddle centres will be fantastic, and it's not just to discover the new Jess Fishlock, but also just to get girls enjoying being active and enjoying being healthy.
No, absolutely. I think it's a fantastic initiative. I think it's something that our country needs, and there's plenty of centres all over the country for all girls who will be, you know, 5 to 12. And I think the beauty of it is, yeah, you know, they don't have to go there to be an elite athlete or a professional footballer, but they can go there, they can have fun, they can learn football, and if they do want to do that, then yeah, absolutely, we'll have clubs around those areas too. But this is beautiful to get young girls feeling confident, being healthy, like Nia said, and for them feeling that they can go and play these sports.
And when you think that about 5 million people watch the World Cup final, you know that the interest is there. I mentioned the two other results this evening, one from Group C, the other a friendly for Norway. Norway beating England. Jess, you were smiling earlier on when I told you the score 2-1.
But don't say that on TV.
Wales are going to have to be very wary of Norway when they play them, aren't they?
For me, Norway one of the best teams in the World Cup. You know, I think their game against Australia that they won, they were phenomenal. And I think England actually had a good draw with that because they were just so tired by the time they got to play England, that England's physicality just took over. So I have under no illusions to how difficult our games against Norway are going to be. They were difficult last Euro campaign, and Norway right now are a far better team than they were back then. So, you know, it's important for us that we play these games, we win these games, and then when it comes to Norway, we are, you know, very realistic with where we can go and what we can do, just like we were with England last campaign, because Norway I'm telling you, had a fantastic team.
Well, that game is to come in this campaign, and we've got plenty of football for you here on the BBC over the next few days. And Friday night, well, the boys, they're back in town.
It's a game. Obviously, coming away from the 2 games in the summer without getting any points was really frustrating for us. But yeah, ultimately, it makes this game even more important because it is a must-win game, and we know we're more than capable of getting a win on Friday. We just need to make sure we prepare as well as possible, and yeah, hopefully come 10 o'clock on Friday night we've got 3 points on the board and can take that momentum going forward.
And you can catch the highlights of Wales taking on Azerbaijan in their Euro 2020 qualifier Friday night on BBC One Wales at 10:35. Join Jason Mohammed for that one. Right then, let's head to commentary and have a quick chat with Gwenan Harris, who's been watching that first 45 minutes. And Gwenan, let's talk about the Wales goal to start off with. I guess it's a contentious issue. Will Northern Ireland feel hard done by?
Well, with VAR not being quite in the women's game at this level, I don't think they can have any arguments, to be honest. It was just really pleasing to see Angharad James. She had a couple of opportunities from that area, so great to see her get one, go her way. Who will actually claim that goal? I think UEFA have given it to Angharad James, but in camp, who will claim that goal? That'll be a contentious decision. But no, it's just great to see Wales in the second period of that first half just get on the front foot a little bit more, and Angharad James was actually, the person that was driving that from the Welsh team.
And I guess that will be the message at half-time, to build on that final 20 minutes performance in that first half from Wales.
Yeah, exactly. I think the first 20 minutes was really disappointing from a Welsh perspective. Whether that's the expectation that is now on them following the success of the last campaign, I'm not sure. I've never seen Wales perform like that, really. They were really sloppy, they were second to everything, they looked lethargic, but they picked that up with Angharad driving that in the second half. But credit to Northern Ireland, I've been really impressed with them, tactically as well. They've really made it difficult for Wales.
Gwenan will be back with you in a few moments for the second half. Right then, I think we can go back to Laura Kenyon. She is with Dean Shields, the assistant Northern Irish manager.
Dean, how do you sum up that first half? Disappointed to concede that goal from Wales?
Yeah, the goal, it was a poor goal to give away at that stage of the game. We thought we were quite well on top at that stage, and it sort of gave Wales a wee bit of momentum towards the end of the half. But I think we've had a good chat with them there, we've sorted it out, and hopefully we can now regain momentum in the second half.
I mean, what are your hopes for Group C overall? It's a tough group, isn't it, with Norway in particular, who you've experienced already?
Yes, of course. I think Norway is the outstanding team in the group, but we want to get second place. We see that as an achievable goal, and I think you've seen tonight the work that we've been implementing into them in training is you're starting to see the fruits of that on the pitch.
Thank you very much, Dean.
Thank you.
Well, the Northern Irish camp sounding very confident. Are we going to have a winner this evening, or what happens in the second half from now on? Can anybody guess? Jess?
Well, Wales will win. I have a belief in that. I always have a belief in these girls. It'll just be, will it be a scrappy win and a lucky win, or will it be they take the second half by the scruff of the neck and show everybody just how good they are?
I don't think a draw is good enough for either team. I think we've spoken about Norway. They've won this tournament twice before. They've got a strong legacy. It really is that second place is up for grabs, and I think Northern Ireland have got their tails up. They've seen that the way that they want to play under Shields has worked at the start of that game, and it's all to play for in the second half.
Well, a big 45 minutes for Wales now. Back we go to commentary and join Gwenan Harris and Simon Davis.
Thank you, Kat. Well, it was a stern-faced looking Jane Ludlow just before the break, as we saw her sit in the dugout. One wonders what she said at half-time.
Well, having played with Jane and knowing her, she's a very passionate person. I think that would have been it. I wouldn't have wanted to be in there as a player myself, put it that way. I would have been a bit scared.
The diplomatic Gwenan Harris. Well, she expects excellence. Jane Ludlow, the coach who almost led Wales to the World Cup in France, just one game away. But so far this evening, you could argue it's been Northern Ireland who've impressed the most. Still a lot of football to be played.
They have, and tactically I think they've made it really difficult as well for Wales. They've pushed players forward and made Wales worry about them, which has pulled a lot of the Welsh players back then.
Harding, the cross from Green, Jones, still with Wales. Ingle, pushing forward now, has found Evans. Ingle battling for it again. Ingle's gone down, and the decision has gone Wales' way. Although it looked a 50-50, and both players look to be in some discomfort here, McGill and Sophie Ingle.
It's a difficult one. Like, she actually wins the ball there, McGill, but when you're coming from an angle there like she is, you know, it's always going to go against you.
Simone McGill scored in that first half. Sophie Ingle has represented Wales with such distinction as captain. Scored a splendid goal for Chelsea, which became a bit of an online sensation. It was shared around on social media. It's a lovely dink over the goalkeeper.
Oh, that was a great goal. You know, and, it was her personified in terms of just, you know, that calmness, that composure, and real class and quality on the ball. And, you know, she'll be hitting her 100th cap for Wales soon, and she's still relatively young. You know, she's under 30 years old, which just goes to show how big a player she is.
Well, a worrying sight for Northern Ireland. Simone McGill, the goal scorer. We hope that it's not an early exit to this game for her. But Wales have a great opportunity. Evans with the free kick. It's not a bad delivery. It was floated in. Roberts among those advancing on that penalty area.
Yeah, that was a great delivery by Gemma Evans. Really putting it into an area in the box where it's difficult for the goalkeeper to come out for them, so maybe a little bit too far, but also giving room there for the Welsh players to really attack it. But I think it was Elise Hughes there, just overran it slightly.
Higgins's kick. And Wales have started with a spring in their step, but they have to be careful of this Northern Ireland team. Vance as well. Plays the crossfield pass, and that could go anywhere. McGill has it. Wales through Vance. Well, they managed to clear it away, and that is typical of the quality of Sophie Ingle and what she possesses.
It is, but that was nearly a carbon copy of Northern Ireland's goal in the first half. They won the first ball in midfield, they won the second ball then up front, and then again, you know, a miscommunication between the Welsh defenders. You know, it's a bit worrying, the opening stages of both halves now. They seem to be really switched off.
I'm delighted to say that Jess Fishlock has rejoined us in the commentary position. And Jess, I think, well, you were optimistic at half-time, speaking with Kat and Nia there, of a much better Wales performance in this second half.
Always optimistic, I am. I think you'll see as well that they've had a tactical change and they've changed Sophie and Loz, their positions. And I think there's a reason for that.
Well, Sophie Ingle started as a midfielder. She is as adept playing there as she is at the back.
Yeah, I think what Jess means, you've seen Lauren Dykes go from the left side of the five at the back, and she's gone into the middle, and Sophie Ingle's come from the middle out to the left. Maybe Wales can open up, play from the back a little bit, with more comfortably than with Hayley and Sophie either side of the...
Yeah, they'll try and get Sophie on the ball to probably
Northern
play
Ireland
out.
on the ball, and McGill is just offside. Sorry, Jess.
No, that's the only thing I could think for that change, is that it's so they can get Sophie in the build-up more so than they did in the first half, because I think everybody could see in the first half we just weren't seeing enough of Sophie Ingle.
Worrying signs again though for the Welsh defence. You know, these Northern Ireland players get a lot of joy in behind, just something that we didn't see in the last campaign. Wales really need to check their shoulders and check these runs better to be able to deal with them better.
Nelson's header away. Roberts with the throw. She can spot the run of Harding here. And it is a corner. It was a rogue touch and a poor touch, it has to be said, from Holdaway. And Wales have a corner. Well, a lot of Wales's opportunities in the first half came from these sorts of set pieces. And once again, it's the left foot of Gemma Evans. Evans's cross is not a bad one. Back out to James. Awkward one for Anhara James to take on.
Yeah,
get her foot over the ball.
That's really difficult. You know, it was actually spinning away from her. She'd actually overran it as well. Difficult, as you said, to get your foot and your body back over that. She actually did pretty well to keep it down.
She formed such a fantastic midfield partnership in the last campaign with you, Jess. It was the spine of the team, in addition to the players at the back.
Yeah, and Harrod is a fantastic player. I've played alongside her for a number of years now, and I think it's good to see her kind of in this role now where she's the experienced one, and so it'll be interesting to see, you know, how she deals with that.
I think, to be honest, to be fair, I think you're doing yourself a little bit of a discredit there in terms of, you know, Anhara has learnt a lot off you, hasn't she? You know, like playing in there.
Shot comes in, and it wasn't a bad one from Ellis Hughes. And once again, it was that player you were just talking about, Anhara James, who set it up.
Yeah, I was just mentioning, you know, as a youngster coming through, to have someone like Jess next to you, you know, really helping you, developing your game. And then, obviously, you know, don't want Jess missing, but when she is, Anhara can step up then because of that experience of everything she's learnt playing alongside, you know, one of the world's best players in her position.
So Ellis Hughes there, she proud Evertonian, from a family of Everton fans. Vance. Well, it's opening up again for Northern Ireland, and it is Holdaway bringing Wade into play. I'll tell you what, Wales are, well, they're living life on the edge.
It's just so uncharacteristic, and again, like even body positions there. You know, you need to make sure that you can see the oncoming player and open your body up. You can see the cross, you can see the oncoming player, but we're seconds behind, so we're not even getting ourselves into those positions.
It was Vance's effort, but it was almost 2-1.
Before that cross got in, our two defenders were on the goal side of the Irish players. By the time that ball got into the box, the Irish players were in front of our Welsh players. That is unheard of playing for Wales.
Vance. Green leads the chase. Higgins. Long ball to Megan Bell. And Sophie Ingle. Well, what can you say? Composed. She's a real leader, and Wales will need that. They'll need everything in this second half. It is not going their way. Harding finds Green. Back to release James.
Really good play by Kaylee Green there. You know, it's difficult when you have a ball, you know, into you there, you know, at chest height, at knee height. She always seems to deal with it really well. She gets her body in the way, turns the defender, and actually it was a really threatening through ball. And Anhara James once again given the licence to drive forward from that midfield position.
Yeah, those two for me, Kaylee and Anhara James, have been the two players that have really tried to drag this Welsh team through this game at this moment in time, and that doesn't surprise me at all with those two out there in those positions.
It's the first change. And about to come on for Northern Ireland, Rebecca McKenna actually played the game out in Norway. It's unlucky to have lost her place.
I think what was actually worrying was seeing that from a Welsh or Northern Irish perspective, seeing the Belarus result. You know, they scored the same amount of goals against the Faroe Islands that Wales did. It just goes to show how difficult actually this group will be, and will Wales miss those, rue those missed opportunities. You know, they had 22 shots against the Faroe Islands, only 12 on target, and only scored 6 of them.
Player Holdaway making way, just hobbling off the pitch, which we don't like to see.
I have a question, Gwen. You might know this because you know far more about this stuff than I do. Does the games, the points and the goals against the bottom team in the group count?
It will.
It did not last campaign.
I think it will in Wales's group because they've only got 5 in the group. In the 2 groups where there are 6 teams, I don't think it'll count them for against the 6th. So from my understanding, it'll count against 1st, 3rd, 4th and 5th because all 9 teams will have all those teams. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, the target for Wales is very much to finish in the top 2. But you're right, Jess, goal difference could come down to it, who knows. But it's about getting the points on the board, and Wales battling hard here, but they need this breakthrough. And here's Evans. Quite a corner.
She was a real threat for Wales, you know, especially in the first half against the Faroe Islands, but it's difficult to get her on the ball because tactically, I think Northern Ireland have been really cute with the way they've played, you know, especially when they've, you know, they just seem to pin our full-backs, our wing-backs back at times, and at the times when they've cheated and stayed high, that's allowed, obviously, them more space and it's been difficult for Wales to deal with.
Higgins' kick. Not a convincing one. Here's Emma Jones. Green with a chase as well. Evans. Given away by Hughes. Good recovery. Green goes it alone. She had the option of Natasha Harding. And you can just see the frustration on Jane Ludlow's face.
Yeah, I think if I'm honest, there as a forward, you know, Tash Harding has made a very good run there. She's coming across just as she did in the first half, actually. Kaylee Green played a nice ball into Tash Harding in that sort of situation. I think that was the right option then.
Yeah, like you said, at the beginning of the game, she makes that pass. But now, 60 minutes in, still 1-1, she shoots. And that's what happens in these type of games.
Do you think that is the expectation, you know, that is now on this Welsh team, that they're feeling that pressure?
I want to say, yeah, there is going to be a little bit more of added pressure, but I also just want to say that, you know, they just didn't play well in the first 20 minutes. And, you know, that's okay. That's not... it's, you know, it's going to happen. At international level, you can't play brilliant for the 90 minutes. It's how they can turn this game around now, and that's going to be huge, and we're about to see the character of this team.
Fadden forced back to Hutton, all the way back to Higgins. James in a forward position. Header from Hughes. Emma Jones could find room through the centre. No fouls as the referee. There's a foul there by Gemma Evans.
That was better though by Emma Jones. She anticipated the ball. As I said, I'd like to see her do in the first half. She was really trying to drive past players. She's a really powerful player. It's difficult for defenders to stop quick players like that when they're driving at you and pushing the ball past you. So more of the same from a Welsh perspective. Be direct, be positive. Take these defenders, these Northern Ireland defenders on.
Marissa Callaghan coming on for Megan Bell. That's a second change then for Northern Ireland. And for them, 1-1 is certainly a scoreline to protect, but maybe they fancy more. So they attack Wales again with Vance. Hughes with a clearance away. And
you said there, Simon, in terms of, you know, maybe a scoreline to protect, but if you actually look at the set that this is the Northern, you can see now they've got 4. You know, they've got a 3 up with 8 then in behind. You know, and you can see they're really pressing Wales up high. And I think personally, from seeing their coaches interview at half-time, they fancy this. I think they really think they can take 3 points, and the way they've played, you know, they have looked quite threatening.
Ladd with the clearance away. Well, Wales need a goal, and they have got options on that bench as well, including a certain Helen Ward.
Well, when you need a goal, that is the one player that you want in your team.
Gill, twisting, turning. Cleared away by Roberts. Green battling for it. It's getting tasty out there now. Harding. Well, very few games go by where you don't see Kaylee Green with a muddied kit at the end of the game.
There's been a few tasty challenges now. You could see how much it means to them, you know.
And Laura Wade with the first yellow. How would Jess Fishlock react to a challenge like that, I wonder?
Probably just like Hayley did.
Or you do a few more rolls than her, surely.
I maybe ask for a yellow with my eyes.
It is the first booking, and Wales do have a free kick, and they do need a goal. Upfield it goes towards Hughes, and
Somebody should be running in after that. That's a set play, that's planned. Why are we not gambling? And that's what Jane's saying right now.
Well, as a forward, that's one of the first things you taught. I can remember, you know, Andy Beattie, our first Wales manager. To be honest, if you didn't make a run like that, he'd pull you off. And he did a couple of times with players, didn't he? If they didn't do, I can remember him in the Algarve Cup, actually pulling off players because they didn't do their throw-ins correctly. It's the same there, you know, basic things. You gamble on those set pieces as a forward. You're sniffing out opportunities, just like Simone McGill kind of did it for Northern Ireland's goal in the first half.
ball back to Higgins. Quickly taken throw from Roberts. The ball in towards Kaylee Green, and they just can't seem to get through this Northern Irish defence, and Kaylee Green is furious with the referee.
Yeah, I think she felt a push in the back, in the area there.
Vance. Surging ball, dealt with by Ingle. Vance was met with a few groans by the Rodney Parade crowd. Danger not away for Wales. McGill passes it back, and the attempted lob just didn't work for Sarah McFadden. And we're hearing that Wales are about to make their first change. And could well be Megan Wynne, who did come on against the Faroe Islands. James. Good link-up play with Roberts. Tackle from Nelson. Quickly taken, it's Harding.
And all that again, you know, you don't want to keep mentioning the same player over and over, but the intensity of Angharad James to make that run in behind, to get the ball quickly, to start early, quick throw-in, you know, that caught Northern Ireland on the hop.
It's Emma Jones coming off.
This is an aggressive substitution, which you'll love to see. Megan Wynne, very direct, very fast, wants to score goals.
Tottenham player. This 12th cap for Wales. Evans came in for the foul against Green.
And on that, with Megan Wynne, I just want to say, from somebody who's played with her for a very long time for Wales, she's just signed her first professional contract with Spurs after, you know, working full-time and training and doing all those things that the women athletes have to do. So, you know, I have such respect for her for that, and so congratulations to Megan on her first professional contract.
Yeah,
Yes.
no one more deserving as well. She's, you know, such a hard-working, humble person. She's always smiling, always takes the positives in life. So lovely for her to get her just rewards.
Absolutely, and she loves playing for Spurs. She was working in human resources in her office job. I wonder if she can get the goal.
Here she is.
This is Megan Wynn. Well, the script was almost written. But with so many players committed forward, it's Northern Ireland who can break. And the ball up top towards McGill goes all the way back to O'Sullivan.
Good play by Megan Wynn, though, straight in. You're looking to
Yes,
combine.
she is.
Looking to combine. And she did that well. Her pace causing problems there. You can see McFadden, I think, bringing it down there. You know, just how to deal with it because of her pace. But great play on the edge of the box, and we needed that. You know, a little bit of intricacy as well.
I think you can see Ireland again a little bit tired now. They're trying to play out. It's not as easy. It's a bit sloppy. And I think that we're going to just reap the rewards of that. And our fitness is going to take its true toll.
Evans looking to intercept, but it's Newborough who could break away. Make up play with McGill, Allahan, James. That's a lovely ball. That's a lovely pass to Natasha Harding, and what a shame that it didn't work out. But that is the vision of Anhara James.
Yeah, that was a great ball, you know. You see people like Paul Pogba in the men's game doing passes like that, and she's just done exactly the same and made it look effortless.
Kaylee Green. Well, she's got an eye for goal, and she wants to make amends after that penalty miss in the Faroe Islands.
Good turn though there, you know, she could feel that. I think it was Rachel Furness was up really tight, up tight on her, so just rolled her body, turned and a quick snapshot to try and get the keeper off guard.
Harding, supported by Roberts. It's opened up for Wales towards Kaylee Green, and Wales are ahead. Kaylee Green makes amends for her penalty miss in the Faroe Islands, and Wales come from behind to lead by 2 goals to 1.
And it's that player again, Kaylee Green. Wales called on her in the last campaign for the big goals, and she's delivered one yet again. Great towering header at the back post. You've seen the desire to get in front of her player and to bury that in the net. And I'll be honest, I think it's just rewards for a really dominant last 15 minutes by Wales.
Yeah, I've said Northern Ireland, they keep wanting to play out and they're tired, and it is just not good enough right now. It's not the same as it was in the first half. And I also said in the first half that Kaylee was one-on-one at back post, and if we had the better quality, she would score a goal, and that's exactly what we've just done.
I think as well, Northern Ireland, you can see obviously they're getting tired, they're dropping so much deeper and they're inviting so much more pressure on themselves, which is not helping them. Wales hopefully will go on from here then, you know, keep that momentum high. Don't settle on that 2-1 and try and protect it. Go and get another one and try and put the game to bed.
Kaylee Green is off the mark in European qualifying for Wales. And now there's a lead to protect. McKenna towards McGill. Shot from distance, Furness, and Rachel Furness. Well, she had a few pot shots in the first half, and that was...
But that's better by the Welsh defence, because you're happy if they're shooting from 30, 40 yards under pressure. Yeah, you can see the desire there. You know, she really wanted to get in front of a defender and score that. You know, and she was the go-to person in the last campaign. You know, she scored 4 goals, 4 really important goals in the last campaign. 2 of them were in 1-0 victories. And as I said earlier, you know, I know she missed that penalty against Faroe Islands, but it wouldn't have dented her confidence at all.
With Furness, Callahan. Support is Newborough. Good tackle from James, but Newborough has done ever so well. She's still going. And all eyes on the referee there. It was good defending in the end from Wales, and in particular from Sophie Ingle.
Yeah, she did well. She just stood up, you know, she didn't dive in. She bided her time, stay up nice and tall. When the time is right, get your body across then.
Rachel Newborough of Northern Ireland, Doncaster Rovers player. Made her debut in 2016. And O'Sullivan, who will take this goal kick, has rarely been threatened in this second half. James. With a hooked clearance away, and the attack could be on again for Green. She could be like a battering ram going forward, and she wants more of it from Harding.
I think there'll definitely be more opportunities for Wales in this game, because you'll see Northern Ireland go for it, maybe push players further forward, and with the Northern Ireland strength tiring, you know, the pace of Natasha Harding, Megan Wynne, Kaylee Green will cause a lot of problems then on the counter.
Gemma Evans with the throw. Plays for Bristol City. Down to Harding. Flick on from Megan Wynne has resulted in a Northern Ireland throw. Rhiannon Roberts has had a lot to say in this second half too.
Yeah, and that's really good by Rhiannon Roberts in terms of the intensity to go out and press higher up. First half, we wouldn't have been doing that. You know, we would have been happy for them to have possession in that area. Now we're getting up a lot higher, putting them under pressure. When they're fatiguing, and when you're under pressure as a player, isn't it, Jess? When you're under pressure as a player, it's difficult to make those passes. Anybody can make a good pass when you've got time on the ball.
Yeah, 100%. When you're fatigued and when you're under pressure, that's when you make the wrong decisions, and that's what we were doing, and that's what we were creating for the first 15 minutes of this half. But you're absolutely right, Gwen. In the first half, we weren't doing that. We weren't releasing our fullbacks. They weren't going out to press. They were just happy sitting back, marking nobody. So it's great to see that they're doing a higher press.
Lads' free kick was aimless. Furness with a long ball for McGill to chase, and look who's chasing back. Lauren Dykes taking no risks at all.
Better defending from Wales than what we're used to. You know, they haven't allowed Simone McGill any space. They've got tighter to her, and I'm giving her the space to run into. And when you're in a foot race, I don't think there's any players in international football going to win a foot race with Lauren Dykes. So it's better defending by Wales.
You don't beat Lauren Dykes.
Winning her 103rd cap. Evans. She's taking a chance, and that was cheaply given away, and McKenna just trying to link up with McGill. It's Evans against McKenna round two. The Northern Ireland substitute uses the better of that exchange, and the race is on between Wynne and Hutton, and the decision goes the visitors' way.
I think that was harsh, really, but you know, Megan Wynne showing her pace there, you know, chasing possibly a ball that a lot of people would have thought was a lost cause, and putting her under pressure. For me, I think she goes down easily there, but that's football these days, unfortunately, isn't it?
It is. Not like when we used to play together, Gwen.
A reunion in the commentary box, and I mean, it is nice to have you here, Jess, but of course we all want you back on that pitch sooner rather than later. But Wales, through the likes of Megan Wynne, are doing okay without you, and it is a yellow card, and it was a hack challenge from Newborough, and the Doncaster player was rough and ready with that tackle, and the referee wasn't having any of it.
That's a really, really harsh tackle, a reckless tackle, if I'm honest. But Megan Wynne has made a huge difference since coming on. I think she's really lifted the Welsh team. Just her enthusiasm, her drive, her energy has really enthused these Wales players and just up to another level, whilst Northern Ireland are tiring as well. You know, we've seen her chasing a lost cause up by the corner flag. There she is, back defending as well, winning possession back for Wales.
Yeah, she is what you call an impact sub.
Gemma Evans Looking for Harding. Can anyone get the loose ball? James wants it. And the break is on. Through Callahan. Furness lets it run to Vance. Rachel Furness with that left foot of hers may well look to put it into the penalty area. That's a cracking ball. Fantastic pass from Rachel Furness. And in the end, Melissa Callahan couldn't make the most of it.
That is a superb delivery by Rachel Furness. And if I'm honest, if that first touch is better, I think she's got a clear attempt on goal there, because she turned Sophie and goal.
Yeah. Or if she bounced it back to her, there was a player running in at the edge of the box who was free, you would have liked that. A midfielder who runs in late is one of the hardest people to mark, and there was one free there. So thankfully, though, Gwennan, she didn't see her.
Yeah, and that the touch was poor as well, but it's a bit of a worrying sign for Wales, because that was a great delivery by Rachel Furness, but it was all come from, actually, you know, we were up attacking, and it was a quick break by Northern Ireland.
Good crowd at Rodney Parade again, which is the new home, it seems, of Wales's women.
Yeah, I think the FAW are really pleased as well, because they've sold over 2,000 tickets for every home game this year, which, you know, that's the first time in our history. So it just goes to show the support and the interest that's out there, which is phenomenal.
Hutton, Furness, pressurised by Green. And Northern Ireland are stifled in their own half here. Well, we always knew that Northern Ireland would provide a different test compared to the Faroe Islands, and that has proved to be the case. Dykes, a sliding tackle, she's conceded the corner, and this one not over by a long shot. Well, it will be Gemma Evans to take it again. And the Wales defence hold their breath again. It was good chasing from Dykes, Bristol City player, but there's plenty to aim for. O'Sullivan surrounded on a goal. In comes the cross. It was left for Vance, and Harding got a foot in. And here come the counter-attack. Good tackle by Lauren Wade. She stood toe-to-toe with Tash Harding all the way.
Yeah, it was good defending. It was also good play by Tash Harding. You know, she brought the ball up about 50 yards there and really just pushed Wales higher up the pitch. I know you talk about territory more so in rugby, you know, in terms of getting higher up the pitch, but it's really important just to relieve that pressure and get the ball up the opposite side of the pitch.
Evans's throw. Looking for Wynne. Heavy pass.
Right
well,
idea.
We are in for a very interesting last 10 minutes. Both Gwennan and Jess will be hoping that Wales can either hold on to this victory or at least get that third goal to make it a bit more comfortable.
I think opportunities will arise for Wales to get that third goal, but I think any Welsh fan would take a 2-1 win and take that 3 points.
Higgins, a short corner, has found herself in the team in place of Jacqueline Burns, who conceded 6 against Norway. Newborough. McFadden finds Nelson.
Northern Ireland have played well, you know. We're not looking at this and saying that Wales have played badly and they're against a team that you would expect them to win. Sorry, I'm trying to speak and watch the game at the same time.
It's McKenna.
But Northern Ireland have played well. You just can't watch this and say anything different.
I've been really impressed, and I said that half time. You know, the way that Ken Shields has set them up tactically has caused Wales problems. You know they've pushed players a lot higher, especially with our wing backs. You know, that's been a real area where we've, especially against the Faroe Islands, I know they're less of a threat, but we were really dominant. Haven't had the joy there, I think they've played well. I don't think Wales have played to the capabilities that they can, but I think part of that is because of the way Northern Ireland has played.
Yep.
It's a lovely flick into the path of McGill. Oh, it's at the bar! McGill with the chance! Well, what a shot from Callahan. It came out of nowhere. And Laura O'Sullivan was almost caught cold. It was an outrageous attempt.
What we said about Megan Wynne for Wales having an impact, Callahan has had just the same type of impact on Northern Ireland. She's really been lively since she's come on. And Wales can't afford, as we've said time and time again, to give players like that time to have shots in those areas.
Wade. Well, Wales are hanging on a bit here. It's sliding tackle from Ladd.
Wales need a little bit of game management right now.
Well, 2-1 is a dangerous lead. And Wales just need to hold firm.
What do you do, Jess, if you're on the pitch now, and you feel like you're under pressure? How do you deal with that?
I think when you're in this situation right now, and you just try to identify where Northern Ireland have been a little bit dangerous, and I think what we have seen is when they get it from the right, there's a little pocket of space on Wales's right-hand side that now they keep trying to get the ball to their player there so they can have a shot, just like they've done. Furness has been in that pocket all game and having some long strikes, and obviously Northern Ireland's Callahan is just exactly the same thing. Northern Ireland have done the homework, so if I was on that field right now, my main decision would be stop that pocket. Don't let him in that pocket. See what else they've got.
The thoughts there of Jess Fishlock, who we'll hear more from at the end of the game as Harding just picks up the play and that pass doesn't work out for Wales. Jess, thank you for the meantime. And Jess will rejoin Katrin and Nia as Wales go for a third. Tash Harding, who has worked her socks off, but hasn't happened for her in the second half. James putting the pressure on Hutton. James with a booking. Well, it was Sarah McFadden who came steaming in with that tackle. There's been a few of those. And Sarah McFadden is the latest to see yellow. It's a free kick to Wales, and a third would make things much more comfortable at this late stage. Evans. Evans towards that back post, looking for Roberts. Tasha Harding will take this throw. It's been a strange sort of night, hasn't it, Gwennon? I think a lot of us expected Wales maybe to win comfortably. Perhaps you and the other ex-players were a bit more cautious in that regard, but it's another yellow card, this time for Gemma Evans.
Yeah, it's been a different game to what Wales have maybe been used to, but any time you're playing one of the home nations, it's going to be tight, it's going to be scrappy. There's going to be a lot of big challenges going in, like we've seen. Especially in the second half, there's been a lot of yellow cards. I just think Wales were caught out cold a little bit in the last 20 minutes, gave Northern Ireland a bit of a head start. Northern Ireland have played fantastically well, in my opinion. I think they've set up really, really well and they've impressed. But the quality of Wales and the difference in those rankings, Wales are ranked 37th in the world to Northern Ireland 66th, and that's showing now in the second half.
Fitness plays a key as well. Pass didn't reach James. Hutton to Furness, who hit the bar. Newborough. Nelson. Nelson, who is was under pressure, and it's opening up for Wales now with Wynne. James. And Wynne is taking it to the corner flag, it seems.
You know, you can see the importance already, can't you? You know, 86 minutes. Possibly a bit early, but you can see the importance that Wales really need this 3 points, that they're taking it to the corner, trying to waste time already to ensure that they get those 3 points, which will take them to the top of the table.
Chloe McCarron about to come on for Northern Ireland. As Green holds up the ball, finds space. James. Roberts. It's a corner.
A good play by Rhiannon Roberts there. You know, she just dropped her shoulder, pulled the defender in, and then took it around and good to win a corner.
Well, it's the last throw of the dice for Kenny Shields, the Northern Ireland manager, and Rachel Newborough of Doncaster Rovers, who's had an eventful evening. She's replaced by Chloe McCarron. Well, it's Evans again with this corner. No room to breathe in that 6-yard area, and it was swinging so much it almost hit the side netting. Not the best delivery from Gemma Evans.
Not the best, but sometimes I think deliveries like that are actually far better than getting a poor delivery the other side, where it's possible for Northern Ireland to counter. So sometimes just wasting that extra 10-20 seconds is better with a poor delivery than a better delivery which is defended well against and countered from.
And it is that time. I will be asking you, Gwenna, for your player of the match.
I think, to be honest, anybody that's watched the game live or on telly would have seen one player really excel tonight. For me, Angharad James has driven the Wales team forward. The intensity at which she's pressed, the quality on the ball, the long and short range, you know, the range of passing. She's made really positive runs to join up with the play, and she got that with the goal as well. So for me, the player of the match today, and she's been outstanding, is Angharad James.
Green. Foul on Green. So Angharad James, the player of the match. And she'll claim that first goal as well. I think she has every right to. I know Emma Jones may have something to say about that. It did come off the striker, but it's an anxious last minute now for Jane Ludlow.
Yeah, it's just game management now, you know, not playing around with the ball in silly areas, putting it down deep into the Northern Ireland half and making them play out from there.
Nelson. Well, Nelson made her debut for Northern Ireland. Young Carrie Jones, who's on the Wales bench, was 5 months old. So this goes to show that this is a Wales team full of youth, and there are going to be bumps in the road, and this has been a stern test, but they're almost through it.
Yeah, and international football is not easy. You know, any game is going to be difficult, especially when you're playing against one of the home nations. But in a qualifying campaign, the most important thing is to get the win, get the victory and the 3 points. Sometimes it's not about the quality of the performance, it's about actually just being professional, getting the job done. I'm sure there's a lot of aspects that Jane Ludlow will want this Welsh team to improve on. But when you look at the most important thing, which is the result, you know, they've shown that resilience to bounce back, and they've shown the character to bounce back and be far better in the second half. And, you know, with 3.5 minutes to go, are looking likely to take those 3 points and take them to the top of the table.
McFadden. Last throw of the dice for Northern Ireland. It's not kept in by Vance. And all eyes now on the referee. 4 minutes to play, and for Wales, after the difficult conditions in the Faroes, but the considerable scoreline. It's been a difficult test tonight, and more tests to come. Belarus away, Northern Ireland away, then Norway at home in April, then the Faroe Islands, then Belarus. They finish their campaign away in Norway. Who knows what will be riding on that game. Wales have to see this one out first, though. Ladd has had a real tussle with McGill.
She's played very well, Simone McGill. She's been really lively for Northern Ireland. She's caused problems, especially in behind. I think Wales have dealt with her a lot better in the second half. But she took her goal exceptionally well as well.
Kaylee Green back on the score sheet after missing that penalty in Torshavn. Hutton. It's a very anxious finish to this game. Wales just want that final whistle to be blown. Northern Ireland are hoping there's one last chance. Long ball towards Vance. McGill. Tackle from Roberts.
Jane Ludlow is, you can see the passion, but she's irate. Someone's not doing her job properly, and if that comes back to cost Wales, she will be fuming.
The referee's blown the whistle and has given the decision to the visitors. Well, this really is the last chance you would suspect for the visitors. Northern Ireland need a goal, having taken the lead in this game earlier in the first half. It's now a chance for Vance to put it in. Lots of activity on that bench, and Kenny Shields is urging this ball to get in the mixer. Wales hold their breath. It is a decent delivery. O'Sullivan! Oh, she's dropped it! Oh, it's 2-2! That has to go down as a goalkeeping error. And it was put in by Ashley Hutton. And Northern Ireland have salvaged a draw. And Laura O'Sullivan looks absolutely devastated.
On any set piece or any attacking play, you expect defenders and a forward from the opposition team to follow the ball in. If you watch here, Gemma Evans is watching the ball. She's not following the player. And that player has got straight in front of her, has gambled and has put that away. You expect a lot better from Laura O'Sullivan. You expect her to catch it, you expect her to parry it. My first manager always told me, Andy Beattie for Wales, three errors lead to a goal, and you could see that: the free kick, the foul to start with, Laura O'Sullivan with the goalkeeping error, and Gemma Evans not following her player.
It's over. 2 points dropped for Wales. Credit to Northern Ireland, they battled to the end, but Laura O'Sullivan's mistake could prove so costly for qualifying for Euro 2021. Wales worked so hard to regain the lead, and it all went wrong at the death.
Yeah, before the game, you look at, if you'd said that result, you'd be extremely disappointed. When you look at the overall performance, Northern Ireland actually deserved something from the game. I think Wales were far more dominant in the second half, but Northern Ireland played really well. They came here and they showed, a lot of quality.
Well, it's finished. Wales 2, Northern Ireland 2. Let's go pitch side and to Laura Kenyon.
I'm here with Kenny Shields, Northern Ireland manager. Kenny, you've salvaged a point from this game. Late drama.
I don't know if we salvaged the point. We lost 2 points, to be honest, because we finished the game with 7 Irish League domestic players, and they have 11 in the A-League, the English Premier League. They've got all Premier League players. They haven't got 1 player from the Welsh League, and we use 7 of our players from the Irish Domestic League, which is an unbelievable achievement to get something here. I'm really proud of the girls because of their effort, their commitment. Wales obviously are a better team, but I thought we were the better team tonight, if I'm not being too big about it. But I think over the piece, we deserved it. There's no doubt about it. You know, we deserved to get a point at least. And we switched off. I know UEFA are quite stringent in all these rules that they have. Well, it was never a multi-ball game, and then they get the multi-ball here, and they changed the system in the second half, and they get goal from the multi-ball, which I didn't think was fair. But over the piece, I have to say, our girls were outstanding. If you look at their origin and where they're from and who they're playing against. And we've bounced back from the Norway game on Friday night. We've came and drew against a team who are a fantastic football team, and we've came away with a point. So let's hope we can start building some momentum from that.
Kenny, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
So Northern Ireland celebrate the heartbreak for Wales. Let's have a look then at Group C. Wales at the top, but Norway, having played one game less, are second. 4 points for Wales then, 2 points dropped. And I'm sure disappointment, you can tell from their faces. Jess, you look disappointed as well, no surprise there.
Yeah, look, I think, you know, as the game went on, we were getting lucky and lucky. It wasn't that they didn't have their chances, but to concede a goal like that on literally the last kick of the game, for me, it's game management, and we gave away a stupid free kick. You know they're going to be good in the air. You don't want them to do that. You know, those girls are going to feel like this is a loss, not even a draw.
And actually, the performance from Wales, not what we've become accustomed to, really. Defensively shaky, and there were issues throughout.
Yeah, and I think credit has to go to Northern Ireland. You know, you listen to Kenny Shields then, and they had a really tough result out in Norway. And to come here against, like he described, a very good Welsh side, and they took a deserved point tonight. There's no two ways about it. I know Wales probably shaded the second half, but actually, you know, they thoroughly deserved that. And it just stresses the importance. You've got to play these tight UEFA qualifying matches. You've got to play until that final whistle. And like Jess said, game management at the end. We're not used to seeing Welsh defensive mistakes, and you know that's shocking from the girls at the back there. Laura Sullivan will be absolutely gutted, but it's just game management, like Jess said, and you know they did so well to take the lead again. Fantastic finish from Kaylee Green, but it's so disappointing.
And Jess, very quickly, they're going to have to pick themselves up before Belarus in October.
Well, look, they've just made the qualifying campaign 10 times harder, because that drop point means you've got to go and get something against Norway. You got to go and win in Belarus. You got to go and win in Northern Ireland. You got to go and win these games now.
Jess, thank you very much. Nia as well. So heartbreak for Wales right at the end. It's a draw against Northern Ireland. They top the group, but they now have it all to do. From Rodney Parade, good night.